Thanks, Carol. Yeah, good news as well. If you fancy a stroll around your local park, maybe, or maybe you walk to work, try and get in a few more steps every day. But, you know, a lot of people say they simply don't have time to do it.
Yes, as part of National Walking Month, one charity is calling for people to get out and about to boost their health and for the government to factor pedestrian safety into its road safety strategy. Well, we sent John Maguire to join a walking tour in Bristol.
We'll start with Bristol's first sort of known pirate, and that's a chap called William de Morisco in the 13th century, and he tried to assassinate King Henry III.
We're stepping out and stepping back in time to explore Bristol's rich maritime and literary history.
Cabot's got 2 statues as opposed to Colston's 3 statues in the city, and other things have been named after Cabot, like Cabot Tires or Cabot Circus or Car Boot Circus, as we like to call it.
This is the Pirates and Prejudice Tour, one of the hundreds of free guided walks as part of a month-long walking festival. As we negotiate the puddles and the cobbles...
So it's a bit drier under the trees, everybody.
Mark Steeds takes us through some of the city's darkest times.
They had tall ships all over the world in the city docks, and barely a mention of Bristol's role in the transatlantic slave trade.
And he also introduces us to the characters, real and imagined, of Treasure Island.
Gives Billy Bones the black spot, and with that, poor old Billy Bones collapses and dies.
Yes, we're from near Boston, Massachusetts.
Ah, so what do you make of this today? You've got a lot of history in Boston.
We're very big fans of pirate history.
Okay, walking tour is...
Yes.
How are you enjoying that?
It's lovely. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, it's not like we come for the weather.
Walking in all its forms and environments, urban, rural, coastal, offers the opportunity to experience life at a slower pace.
I do like walking, yeah.
Do you? Why?
It makes you feel better. And, you get outside in the fresh air.
Well, glad it stopped raining. That's really lucky, isn't it?
The Bristol Walk Fest is part of National Walking Month. The key objective is to persuade people to get out and about, if they can, on foot.
We want to encourage more people to get outside and just enjoy walking. Walking is one of the most underestimated forms of exercise. It's really good not only just for your physical well-being, but your mental health as well.
To encourage people, 2 sustainable transport groups are putting forward recommendations to the government's upcoming road safety strategy. They include 20-mile-an-hour speed limits in built-up areas, steps to make the school journey safer for children, and a ban on pavement parking. All valuable prizes that cyclists and walkers pounding the pavements believe should be treasured. John Maguire, BBC News, Bristol.
We're joined here on the sofa now by Tanya Braun from Living Street. Now, John didn't have a particularly great day there in Bristol in terms of the weather, but how important is it that we can incorporate walking into our daily lives just as a part of a routine?
It's so important. It's one of the easiest, most accessible ways, walking, to get active, to get out of the house. And walking brings us so many benefits, both physically, to our physical health, to our mental well-being, and it can also be a great way of building relationships with the community around us, but also our friends and family, and it also really helps the local environments that we live in.
The idea that it's good for you, it's really underrated, isn't it? Because people think that to get exercise, you need to probably break a sweat. You know, you need to be doing something really energetic, but actually that sort of low, steady, low pace is quite good for you, isn't it?
It is. I think a moderate pace is what the Chief Medical Officer would say. So 20 minutes a day can build us up to 150 minutes a week. So the Chief Medical Officer says that we should be looking at around that per week to stay sort of physically healthy and active. So you can take it how you want. If you're starting out walking, definitely take it slow. 10 minutes a day is a great way to begin. But if you can build that up gradually, and it's really, really good for your health.
It's one of those things that I think people, because of busy lives, you could probably do a whole week of driving yourself to work and driving the kids to school and driving to the supermarket and have not actually walked anywhere.
I mean, we've recently done some research that shows that 10% of people aren't walking once a month or ever. So it is a problem, and we would love to see more people experiencing the benefits walking brings, and that's very much what National Walking Month is all about. It's about celebrating the benefits of walking and encouraging those of us who aren't doing so much of it to give it a go. 10 or 20 minutes a day is a great start.
So this government road safety strategy would be designed to try and make it easier or more accessible for people, because we all know that there's some roads that you just don't want to be walking down. The cars are too fast, the pavements are too small. How do we build that into everyday life and into infrastructure?
So at Living Streets, we hear a lot about the barriers that put people off walking. So speeding cars, just feeling unsafe, lack of crossings, pavement parking. So the government has announced that they are developing a new road safety strategy. That will be the first since 2011. So it's been a really long time coming. We're still seeing people killed and seriously injured on our streets, on our roads. 400 pedestrians last year. This is unacceptable. So we need a new road safety strategy. Along with the Bikeability Trust, Living Streets has done a new report looking at recommendations to the government, and we base that on submissions from organisations, individuals, and we heard a lot from them about pavement parking. We want to see a ban on pavement parking. It's one of the biggest things that puts people off walking. We heard from parents of young children that they're twice as likely not to walk because of cars parked on the pavements.
How likely do you think that is to happen? Because we're just seeing the pictures that it's frustrating just to watch the pictures of people not being able to walk on a pavement. How optimistic are you that you could get that?
I want to be optimistic. We have heard from the Secretary of State that a response to the consultation on pavement parking should be coming. It's been 4.5 years. That's far too long. So we hope that it is going to be very, very soon. This is really important. For most people, being pushed into the road and having to walk around cars into the road is not nice. But for some, that is literally putting them off leaving the house. If someone's in a wheelchair, if someone's older and a little bit less stable on their feet, people with young children, as we saw from our report, it's really serious.
Strikes me this is all integrated into a bigger master plan, isn't it? If public transport was a bit better, people might think, well, I can walk there and I'll jump on the bus back, or they think about how they build that in. Maybe they can cycle some of the way as well. I wonder where in the world does this really well? Do you look at other countries and say, Netherlands always held up there, isn't it, for cycling? Is there a place that does walking well?
I mean, a lot of the Scandinavian countries also do walking well. Walking and cycling work really well intertwined together with public transport, as you say, because for longer journeys, not everyone is going to be able to walk an hour to work or to school. So it is really important. And the government are looking at an integrated transport strategy. So we're hoping to see that launched later this year. We're hoping that walking and cycling and public transport feature really predominantly in that strategy, with clear funding and clear, policies around making it easier for people to choose those options. It's about choice. And if barriers like pavement parking are still there, people aren't going to feel able to choose walking. And it's a really great way of being active, being healthy and getting around.
Tanya, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.